Happy Hoppy Hour, beer lovers. I'm Lindsey, back for another episode of the Hoppy Girl Podcast and I Love Colorado Beer production. And a little shout out to I Love Colorado Beer. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I love beer, I love Colorado beer, and I love the company, I Love Colorado Beer. Wearing one of their shirts today. So, cheers, everybody. After the last two very heavy history episodes, we're changing it up a little bit today. I'm hoping we'll still learn some, but we're adding a couple beer tastings in. So here's the plan today. I'm here at Lone Tree Brewing Company. We're going to go through kind of some information about the brewery itself, some information about the beers, and then information on the beer styles as well. Before we get started though, please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment or review. I'm at a Hoppy Girl Podcast on all the socials. Okay, let's get started. Where are we at? We're at Lone Tree Brewing Company. It was established in 2011, founded by John Winter and co-owned by operations manager Jerry Site. It's located in Lone Tree, Colorado. For my listeners unfamiliar with the Colorado area in general, Lone Tree is considered a southern suburb of Denver. It's about 18 miles from downtown Denver itself. A fun little fact for my listeners who are a little more familiar with Colorado, Lone Tree's population, according to the 2020 census, was just over 14,000 people. I don't know about you, but I thought that was a little small considering this is kind of a hustle and bustle area. Several major interstates are close to here, as well as a major mall, Park Meadows Mall in Denver. So I thought 14,000 was a little low, but here we are. Lone Tree Brewing Company is noted for being the first brewery in Lone Tree, Colorado as well. So I've done a lot of research so far. I've actually pre-recorded a few other episodes, and I visit a lot of websites during research, and I can tell you this very specifically. Lone Tree Brewing Company's website is top-notch. No shade to other breweries. I know it's a lot to keep up with, but I should give credit where credit's due. They've got a lot of good information. So their beer page has their flagship or year-round beers, a big tap list. So anything that's on tap, you can go and see right away. They've got seasonal beers, including the cans and what is in stock and what's out of stock. That's super helpful. They have a pretty extensive event page. They do things like food trucks almost every day. They host a run club and a boot camp. They do fundraisers, comedy shows, canvas and cocktail trivia nights, shopping events, open mic nights, charity donations, parties. They're setting up another party. A group of patrons has rented out an area. They're setting up a party here today. And they even host monthly chapter meetings for certain clubs. So it's a pretty active, pretty happening place. And again, their website has all that information. So go ahead and check that out. The other cool thing about their website is each of their flagship beers, so there's 6 of them, has its own extra page with information about the beer, food pairings, different things like that. So that's kind of cool. So we're here in the tasting room in Lone Tree. It's about 3,000 square feet, includes outdoor seating. It's got multiple seating areas. So think high top, bar, low top, community tables. It's dog friendly, both inside and out. And there are some secluded areas for some adult-only time, so think our date night type situations. So kind of a fun little side note, I'm going to do an episode that's all about me a little later. Since I'm your host, I think maybe some people would be interested in my background and a little more about me. But Lone Tree Brewing Company always hits a little different. So I met my husband Phil in 2014. And after meeting and getting to know it and then marrying him, I also became a stepmom. So I have 2 stepsons. I met them as well 10 years ago. And the first time I met them was where? Lone Tree Brewing Company. So we'll find the picture and throw it up. But we met and they were pretty little. And what broke the ice in a big way was us petting some random person's dog. So we have this cute picture of me and the boys with this dog. And man, they were so little. It's kind of crazy to think about all the things that have gone on over the last 10 years and how much we've gone through. Because the picture that we'll show you, they were these little peanut kids, and I can tell you now they're sassy, opinionated, but also very sweet teenagers. My almost 15-year-old stepson, so I met him when he was 5, now he's almost 15, and he is now 6'4". So he makes me at 5'8" look small, if you can believe it. So, and he's only 15, not even. So anyway, Lone Tree kind of hits a little different for us because it's just one of those special places that holds a memory in our heart. Another fun fact that I thought was really interesting that I knew, but it was sort of reminded me, it was that Lone Tree opened up a tap room. So they have a tap room now in Parker. It's very new. So it was announced in February of 24 that they are taking over Barnett & Sons. So I believe the owner of Barnett & Sons is retiring and has always had a nice relationship with Lone Tree, and so that transition has occurred and their tap room in Parker is now open. So if you haven't checked that one out, I know I haven't, so I got to head over there and check that one out as well. Okay, so enough about me and the brewery itself. Let's move on to the beer. So what beer are we talking about today? I decided in this first tasting that I would do 2 of their flagship beers for kind of specific reasons. I'll go through the beer styles and kind of why I chose them, but I'm going to be trying their Mexican lager and their double IPA. Let's start with the Mexican lager first. So, Mexican lager, general information about the beer style itself. It's a controversial style, so why not be that first one that I start with, right? So the style is not necessarily fully recognized in any beer judging events. It's not recognized on the beer advocacy website. It's not specific, its own event at GABF or for the beer judging certification program. Usually when it's submitted as a light lager, international pale, international amber lager, or international dark lager. But the style itself has been embraced by the community and brewers itself, so it is a popular style of beer. In general, it's pretty clean and pale with high clarity and low bitterness. However, it can also be amber or dark, so there's a dark Mexican lager as well, and an amber Mexican lager, hence those other categories for the beer judging certification program. It leans towards descriptive words like refreshing, light, not overly sweet, pretty crisp. Historically, it originated as a Vienna lager, but in Mexico, corn is so abundant as a resource that it was added as flaked maize. That addition to it slightly dries out the beer, adding crispness and boosting its clarity. So, a little fun controversy around the Mexican lager as well is, do we drink this beer with a lime or without a lime? The history behind the lime is also up for debate. Some say the lime was disinfectant on the top of the bottle. Some say the citrus kept the flies away, and some say it started as a bet. So you tell me, what do you think? I want you to weigh in Mexican lager lime or without lime, and maybe drop a comment on what's your favorite Mexican lager. All right, let's talk about this beer specifically. So Lone Tree Brewing's Mexican lager. It's won a few medals, so 2015 GABF silver medal, 2017 GABF gold medal, and 2023 GABF silver medal. The specs itself, it's 5.3% ABV, 27 IBUs, and it's the on the SRM scale at a 3. And I think that hits all when you're looking at the beer. So Lone Tree Brewing Company, like I said, has a really nice website. So I'm going to read a quote from their website about this beer specifically because I liked the way they described it. Anyway, so I quote, "One of Colorado's first canned Mexican-style lagers, we brew our Mexican lager with malt, hops, water, yeast, and a touch of flaked corn. Clean and easy drinking. Its highly palatable lager is perfect for any activity from mowing the lawn to shoveling snow. Feeling lazy? It's great for that too. Pours brilliant straw color with a crisp, clean body and a refreshing finish." Okay, enough about it. I'm ready to taste. How about you? Okay, so before we do this tasting review, I'm going to give a quick rundown on the steps of tasting, and very, very brief. I think in a later episode, I'll go through kind of the nuance of each of those steps. But tasting beer is complex. It takes years to perfect. I'm still working on it myself. It's a fun thing to work on, for sure. But like I said, I'll keep it pretty simple today, and we'll go from there. So the 4 steps include appearance, aroma, taste, and mouthfeel in that order. All right, so let's go ahead and taste this Mexican lager. So we're going to start with appearance. That SRM scale of 3 is pretty spot on. It definitely is pretty straw colored, pretty light. Aroma. I get a lot of clean crispness, maybe a slight citrus on the end of it. It smells pretty good though. Go ahead and taste. It hits exactly how you think a Mexican lager would hit. It's very crisp, very clean, very low bitterness. And then that mouthfeel is a bit dry, which again is supposed to be with the addition of those flake corn to the brewing process. Yeah, not a very thick mouthfeel at all, very dry at the end. It's good beer. If you've had this beer, let me know what you think. If you like another Mexican lager, let me know what you think. I'm gonna take one more sip just for fun. Ooh, it's good. Cheers, everybody. All right, take a quick pause. I'm gonna cleanse my palate. And then we're gonna switch over to the second beer that I'm gonna try. Whoop. I'm keeping that one though, Phil. You can't have that one. Okay, on to the next beer. I didn't intentionally choose two flagship beers for any specific loyalty reasons, but I thought for my first tasting episode that I had to pick something hoppy, right? So the Hoppy Girl Podcast name does not come for no reason. I love me some hoppy beers. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I really always have. So this next beer I'm trying is another flagship, the Double IPA. Let's chat about the style first. So the style India Pale Ale, or IPA, is maybe or probably arguably, but I would say not so arguably, the most popular style of craft beer that's brewed today. According to a statistic that I found, 40% of craft beer brewing in the United States is classified as an IPA. So it takes up a large percentage of the beers that are brewed. There are so many variants to the IPA, the double IPA, triple IPA. I've seen a quad IPA, American IPA, New England IPA, white IPA, the cold IPA, or an India Pale Lager, brut IPA, and the black IPA. I'm going to end with the black IPA. Drop a comment below if you know why. Anyway, so short version was the style was born from English drinkers who were on their conquest of gaining an empire in India, and they weren't loving drinking dark beer. They wanted something lighter to drink in India, whose climate is much more humid and hot. Since beer was not being brewed on site in India, it had to be shipped from England. And brewers figured out that if they brewed a beer with a higher alcohol content and they added those hops to it, that it actually transported to India a lot easier and held up a lot better. So IPA was born. There is some controversy on what the original IPA was. Was it that October beer from Bow Brewing? Was that beer an actual IPA? But regardless, we're not here to go into the history of IPAs. We're here to talk about double IPAs. So double IPAs are, and I quote, a stronger, very hoppy variant of an IPA that typically have an alcohol content of 7.5 ABV or above. The name double is indicative of increasing the ingredients, including hops, used in that brewing process, creating a beer with a higher alcohol content and a richer hop character to that beer. I'm not a brewer, but I know that most of the brewers who are way smarter than I am would say that it's not as simple as just doubling ingredients. But generally speaking, that's what the double IPA has been derived from. Okay, so decorated and innovative brewer Vinnie Ciruso. I tried to look up the pronunciation of that word. It's an Italian name, so sorry if I butchered it, Vinnie. His then brewery, Blind Pig Brewing Company, is noted for originating the double IPA style in Temecula, California. He is actually now the owner of Russian River Brewing Company with multiple locations. But Vinnie, is kind of noted as starting that double IPA. Another random fun fact about double IPAs is that they're also called Imperial IPAs. And is there a difference between the two? Nope. So I was researching double IPAs, and there's another brewery that we won't mention today that goes into some of the history of IPAs. I dropped their website on my website, so you can go ahead and check out any of the information that I've got, all my source list and all that stuff on my website. But this brewery had a funny little quip where they were saying that people who use the term Imperial IPA must think that they're special or more significant because there's really no difference between the double and the Imperial. So I thought that was just kind of funny. Okay, let's move on to this beer specifically. So it originally was called the Hop Tree, and again, according to Lone Tree's website, they do a great job of describing their beers. It is a well-balanced, easy drinker. 8 hops combined to create perfect bitterness, aroma, and flavors of citrus and tropical fruits with a distinct malt blend to provide body and balance. A hallmark for any hophead. pours light copper with an exceptional hop flavor and a clean, dry finish. Its specs are it's 8% ABV, the IBUs are 80, and the SRM is 8. So again, to review the tasting, because that's what we're going to do now, I'm excited, we'll do appearance, aroma, taste, and mouthfeel. So appearance looks spot on, nice coppery. Let's do the aroma. You definitely get the hoppiness in this one. Maybe a little caramely too. Definitely hoppy though. Okay, taste, here we go. Hoppy, but also got kind of a deep richness to it, which is what a double IPA should be. It should be an IPA that's got a little more malt and body with it. And that mouthfeel at the end is clean and dry. So it's really good. This is kind of one of my favorites. I really do like it. Okay, so that's it for the episode today. Let me know what you think about tasting episodes. Let me know if you learned anything. Let me know if I missed anything. Like I said before, all my notes, more information, a list of my sources is available at my website, hoppygirlpodcast.com. So go ahead and hit that up if you have questions on where I got my resources or if you want to learn a little more too. And then hit me up on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm actually trying to figure out what was formerly Twitter, or now known as X. Formerly Twitter. I'm trying to figure that out. So if anybody knows anything about X, let me know. Help me out here. But I'm at Hoppy Girl Podcast and all those. Please like, subscribe, follow, and leave a review. And we'll see you next time. And also thank you, Lone Tree Brewing Company, for opening your doors and letting me hang with you guys. Cheers. Phil, I want another one of those. Bye, everybody.